much suffering for a life that nobody asked for a life that can be taken away at any time. You might find that today is your last day here and you don't even know that. So much suffering for a life that can be taken away at any moment. That can be taken away by anyone. There's so much suffering for a life that is meaningless. There's no meaning. Yes, people do try to create their own meaning. Because what are they gonna do? But they get tired of constantly trying to create meaning, because deep down they know that life is meaningless. It will be like if you had no friends and created an imaginary friend. It will get to a point when you're like you're just tired. Like you want real friends. You're like, I can't keep on lying to myself. I can't keep on saying I have a friend. I don't have a friend. So after trying so hard to find meaning, after trying so hard to create meaning, people get tired and they ask themselves, what is the meaning of life? Why are we suffering the way that we are suffering? Because it doesn't make sense anymore. It seems to me that the Matrix uses a punishment reward system to control sentient beings. And that might seem like a good thing. Like if you have a kid and that kid misbehaves, and maybe you punish them because they misbehave. You're like, okay, I'm not going to allow you to eat food until 1 o'clock. You're not going to have breakfast today because of what you did. You're going to eat at 1. Maybe the kid is going to start behaving well. But notice that you would explain to the kid what they did. I told you never to do that again. So the kid knows exactly why they are being punished. I'm being punished because I came back home late. And I was told that I mustn't come back home late. But I did, so I'm being punished. But in this world, nothing is being explained to us. And I don't think it would have been impossible for people to be told how they're actually supposed to be living, what is good, what is bad, We just find ourselves here and, we find ourselves suffering when we do some things, When we try too hard, sometimes we suffer. When we trust, some people, sometimes we suffer. When we love some people, sometimes we suffer. When we choose to be alone, sometimes we suffer. When we choose to be loyal, sometimes we suffer. Sometimes when we choose to do what we feel is right, sometimes we suffer. So this punishment to reward system doesn't really seem to really be working. Because it's not like you live in a room where it's clear what is right and what is wrong. And when you do what's wrong, you're punished, you suffer. In this realm, you suffer even if you are doing things that we can all agree that that's the right thing to do. You can suffer for being so nice to people, for being kind, for trusting other people. You might say, well, yeah, you shouldn't trust no one. But what are we actually learning from not trusting one another as people? I've heard a lot of people say, I only trust God. I don't trust no one. I only trust God. And you're like, what do you mean you only trust God? Do you know God? Does that even make sense? How can you trust? How can you trust someone you haven't met? The reason why a lot of people say they trust God is because they want to trust someone. The problem is that they don't know God. Not only have they not met God, but they don't know God. They don't even know if He exists. And even if He did exist, they don't know if He's good or if He's bad, you know? So what does it even mean to trust God? I've had a lot of people say, I only trust God and I only trust me. I don't trust anyone except God. Doesn't that show you that there's something wrong with this place? We can't even trust. We can't even trust one another. Like the people that you know, that you interact with, you can't trust them. Trusting is a bad thing. But what sucks is that sometimes you suffer for not trusting. Find that maybe if you trusted a person, your life could have been better. But you couldn't trust them because a lot of bad things happen in this realm. But because you didn't trust them, but you see, this punishment reward system doesn't really work. It would be like if you had a kid and you didn't really tell them how they need to behave. But that sometimes they come home at 5 p.m. You embrace them. I'm glad you came home on time. There's your food on top of the table. Open the fridge and get some yogurt, because I know you like yogurt. Then 2 days later, the kid comes back at 5. And then you'll be confusing the kid. The kid won't know what to do. And that's how it is in this realm. We get punished sometimes and we suffer. And then we get rewarded for doing the same thing that we were punished for. So you don't know what to do. You can see that we're not suffering so that we will evolve, so that we will learn our lessons and become better. The Matrix just wants us to fear it somehow, to behave, because we are so afraid. That's why nothing is explained to us. When people are not living in fear, when they don't fear God, they are afraid that they might suffer. Like they're asked to be here. If you decide to not eat, you get hungry. Ever been really hungry? The Matrix wants you to eat. Because if you don't eat, you're going to die. The Matrix wants you to lie. Because if you are too real, you'll expose it. So it punishes you for being real. You're not supposed to be very honest with yourself about what's going on in the world. There must be some BS that you tell yourself. That's what the Matrix wants. If you're gonna be honest with yourself, like really, really, really honest, hey, you might not be able to handle the truth. You know, a lot of people are not able to handle the truth. That's why they lie. That's why we believe nonsense. We believe things that even a kid would say that, but this is BS. A kid that's like 5. If we told them why we believe some of the things that we believe, and we told them that they must ask questions, the whole thing was stupid. It's just that when a kid is still young, they're not asking questions. They're still learning about the world, so they trust their parents. So they believe whatever BS their parents tell them, their elders tell them. They believe all the BS until they're much older, and they're like, what I was told doesn't seem to correspond with what's happening here. What I was made to believe doesn't correspond with what's actually happening in this room. We are so afraid of suffering that we'll do anything to escape suffering. People will do anything to escape suffering. There's a reason why if someone decides that to hire a hitman, and it's a person that doesn't know you, but like, go in and alive that person, they don't hesitate, like, because they're suffering. Like, we need money, or they feel like they will suffer if they don't have money. So they're like, yeah, what I'm about to do is actually messed up because I don't know this person. This person has a life, like taking a life, bro. Even though I consider this place to be a hell realm, but there's something that's so wrong about taking a life. Understand? Someone suffers their whole life. Let's say someone's trying to be a lawyer. They suffer their whole life. Maybe they were born in a poor family, trying to be a lawyer, suffer, and then they finally make it. And then someone hires a hitman to unalive them. Can you imagine? Your life is taken away. After all the years that you've suffered, at least there's the time that you experience happiness at least. Even if it's for a while, it's fine because you have suffered a lot. There are people who never truly experienced happiness. Yes, there are times when people actually experience happiness. They'll be so happy that they even feel like crying, Maybe, the person was waiting to get married for a very long time, and then the boyfriend proposes. They cry. They've been wanting to have a wedding since they were little. They cry, you know. An artist always wanted to win a Grammy. That happens. They cry, they're so happy, you know. That girl that you had a crush on, you know, she says yes. You just feel so happy, right? But it seems like people have to do a lot to experience happiness. Like, you have to work to experience happiness. But to suffer, you don't even have to do anything at all. In fact, if you do nothing, you suffer. You're punished for doing nothing. You'll be bored. You'll be bored. People don't want to be bored. You know, when we talk about suffering, we're not just talking about people getting sick. We're not talking about people dying of hunger because they're poor. We're not just talking about people in jail, right? Who you know, being tortured. People suffer in different ways in this realm. You can suffer because you're bored. You suffer because you're alone. You have no one to talk to for real. You wish you could have a friend, but you don't even know how to make friends, or you don't know how to connect with the right people. You don't know if there are people that you can truly connect with. So you feel alone. You go online, search for different Facebook groups where you feel like you can find people that you connect with, but you find that it's still the same. Or you do find some people that you can connect with online, but maybe they live in a different country, so you guys cannot meet. So you still feel alone. And the Matrix even uses that to torture you, to get loose from you. Like, you know, there's this person who lives in another country. You guys want to meet, but you don't have money. You know, so that desire to meet will be used to get loose from you. Because when you want something and you don't get it, you produce loose. You suffer. It's not that many people who get to have what they truly want. Most people fail to get what they want. You know, most people, and this is sad what I'm about to say, they experience happiness only by believing that what they want, they've got what they want, but you find that it's not true. It's false alarm. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say you've been wanting to have a good relationship and you meet this person. This person is so nice, you're good, you're happy, right? But you find that, nah, that person is full of shit. And time will expose the truth, and then you realize that, oh, that person is full of shit. You see, you were happy not because you found the right person for you, but because of the story that you told yourself. You believed that you found the right, you know what I mean? Some people only experience happiness when they believe that things are working out while things are not really working out. They never get what they want. Doesn't that suck? It doesn't matter if they work too hard. You think it's about hard work. You want a relationship, you must work hard. You just be looked at as someone who's desperate. You're working too hard, but you're not finding a good relationship. or the person that you want to be with takes you for granted, then you see them love someone who hasn't done anything, and they can't control their love for that person. That's how life works, you know. People think you gotta work too hard. I don't think you gotta work too hard. It's just that some people do succeed when they work hard rather than everyone else. But it's not hard work that really puts people on top. Hard work makes you tired. Like, hard work makes you tired. It's like there are some things that are just meant for you as a person. Like, if you're meant to be a leader, you don't need to be working hard to become a leader. People will just love you. They will want to listen to you. They will want to make you a leader. You see? You could, if you can't sing, even if every day you wake up and you try to sing, you won't be able to sing. But you find that someone like Adele can sing without really trying to. Like, she was able to sing. You know what I mean? She didn't have to work hard to become a singer. She was born for that. It's sad that people are not equal, or they're not treated equally by life. That's why we say life is unfair. It's like some people were brought here to suffer for real. You look at that person's life and you're like, I don't know what they've done to deserve this kind of life, but this is messed up. It doesn't matter what they do. Things just don't work out for them. So much suffering for a life that no one asked for. And it's sad that we're suffering even though we didn't ask for this. For this to make sense, we would have needed to have asked for it and know that we've asked for it. And we must have known what we're getting ourselves into. Shouldn't be like Squid Game, yeah. I like that, like the first game that they play in that series, right? Where they'll be walking and then stopping when that thing looks at them, they stop. Then, like, I like that game. Like, they don't know what's gonna happen really. Like, they I think they're told that they'll be eliminated, but they don't know that what elimination actually means. You know, they don't know that actually you're not being sent home. You're getting unalived right away, and then they'll go crazy. I like the part where, I also like the part where they vote whether they want to stay and play the game, or if they want to go home. Those who like it'll be a power thing. Like, it will be a number thing actually. If the majority of people say they want to stay, even those who say they didn't want to stay will have to stay, you know. And it's kind of like how it is in this realm, you know. If a person, for example, is tired and they're like, hey, can I, is there somewhere that I can go so that I'll be assisted to exit? If the majority of people think that that's bad, no one should be allowed to leave, then it will be against the law to assist a person to exit, you know what I mean? So it's the same thing. So it will seem like everyone wants to play the game, and those who do not want to play the game, they'll be blamed, you know. Those who want to play the game will look at them and be like, oh, these people are weak. Why do they not want to play the game? They need to be strong here. We want to play the game. They have to play the game because we want to play the game. It's how it is in this realm. So it feels like you asked for this. And the more unwilling you are to do a lot of things that are being done here, maybe you don't have the energy, maybe there isn't that many things that make you happy, you just don't want to do anything really. It's just that you suffer if you do nothing, so you do these things because you're just trying to escape suffering. The more unwilling you are to participate, the more you suffer, because you're not doing what the matrix wants you to do for it to reward you. If you are playing the game the way that it wants you to play the game, it does reward you. And it doesn't play by our rules. It's indifferent to our feelings. It doesn't matter if we feel like some things are wrong. Those who are playing the game the way that the Matrix wants people to play the game, these people are being rewarded. So much suffering for life that nobody asked for. Born without our consent. And if a person says they're tired, we feel as if they owe us. They owe us something. It's crazy that we think like that. If a person is tired, we feel like they owe us something. If a person doesn't want to participate, we feel like they owe us something. See, those who want to play the game, they end up owning those who do not want to play the game. If you realize that, like that's usually how it works. Because those who want to play the game, they succeed, and then they end up having a lot of power. So they're making decisions for those who do not want to play the game. If there are evil things that are being done, you know, to get to the top, and there are people who are willing to do these things, they will get to the top. And when they are at the top, they have power. So they control those who are not willing to, do, these evil things that people do to get to the top. So now you find that, the world is run by psychos. And those who are trying to be good, those who are trying to play fair, those who are trying to do what we all know is right, as conscious being, not necessarily what works, but what we know is right. Like, let's treat one another well, let's be fair. I mustn't borrow money from a person and not give them back. I mustn't scam people. There are people who are willing to scam old people, bro. Like, I met this old lady a month back. She was crying. She said someone scammed her. I don't know how it happened. She said she just got paid, they in South Africa, when you are like over the age of 60, like if you're a woman and you're over the age of 60, yeah, they give you money every month. The guy robbed her. All of like, yeah, these people who seem to be heartless, they thrive in this realm, you know. But like, okay, I'm broke. What should I do? I'm not gonna care about morals. I'm not gonna care about other people's feelings. I'm just gonna do what I think is gonna make me money. So imagine if people like that get to have power. Of course, they're gonna abuse their power, and that's how it works in this realm. This realm rewards bad behavior more than it rewards good behavior. We do not give a shit about people who truly care about us, and that's really scary. Those who are treating us right, we take them for granted. And there's these people who don't really care about us, who are playing the game right. Somehow we are attracted to them. Somehow we want them to win. You know? I've given you this example about politics, that we do not choose a leader because that person is good. We don't really care about that. I've given you the example, like when it comes to relationship, that women do not pick a guy just because he's good. And if we if women were the ones approaching us, let's say, you know, things change in the world and women were the ones approaching men, we wouldn't be picking women because they're good, you know, because men, you know, they kind of blame women for being turned on by like bad boy qualities. Like that's what turns them on. But if roles were reversed, it would still be the same thing. We would not pick a woman simply because she's good. I've been telling y'all that it happens a lot that a woman, you know, dates a man who has nothing. He supports him, you know. She because here's the thing, when you have a good woman in your life, you grow and become better, you become stronger, you become powerful. I'm telling you, like, if you have like a good woman in your life, even if you didn't have motivation to do something with your life, like, you're gonna feel like doing something and it's gonna feel right. So you meet this woman, you have nothing and she loves you and you feel loved, you feel stronger, you know, you feel good. Because you want to feel good to, you know, perform well in life. So you feel good, she's making you feel good, she's taking care of you, you feel connected to someone. And then you make it. Then you forget that she was there. You forget. She was a good woman. But that won't matter to you. You're going to find yourself a baddie. This chick that wouldn't have looked at you twice when you were broke. Isn't it crazy that all logic flies out the window? When we are in a position to choose people who should be in our lives, and we can choose anyone. The more options you have, the more likely you are to make mistakes. But like, damn, I have all these options, and you choose a woman who doesn't care about you, because she also wants you to be in your life. Why? Because she knows you got money, you are successful, you take care of them, but she doesn't really care about you. And she's not, even if she did care about you, but she's not a good person. She can betray you. She can get people to come and analyze you. If you started losing the things that you have, she might leave. She sees that, okay, this nigga doesn't seem like he's gonna get back on top. This reminds me of the movie The Wolf of Wall Street. The main character became very, very successful. But before he became successful, there was this woman in his life that cared about him. But when he started making money and he met this lady that he wanted, he's like, he said it didn't matter if she wasn't good. But yeah, when he met her, he just fell in love with her, and then he left his woman. She cried when he left. He did nothing wrong. She was good to him. She stuck with him even when things weren't going well. And then that woman, when he started losing the shit that he has, she said she told him that she wants a divorce. But like, what? And it's like, how convenient is it that now you want a divorce, that I'm losing the things that I have? Like, yeah, what did he expect? Like, it had been. But yeah, this world rewards bad behavior, bro. It's not about being a good person. I've seen good people get crushed in this realm. You know, a lot of people who are good, they are totally broken now. They are traumatized. They can't believe some of the things that happened to them. Like, I can't believe, like, there are things that some people have experienced maybe 15 years ago. They still have not forgotten. They still can't believe that a human being can experience what they experienced 15 years ago because they were good. So people go through a lot of BS in a realm that they didn't ask to be brought into. They do. Yesterday, I went to Johannesburg, CBD. Yeah, I haven't really been there. Like, it's not really far from where I am, but where I'm staying now. But I don't really like going there. But yesterday, I went there because I cracked this my phone screen, so I needed to install a new screen. While I was working there, these cops stopped me. In fact, there was one. I only there were many, but I was only stopped by one cop. He was like, "Where's your passport? Where's your passport?" I pushed that nigga. That's always my first reaction. If someone doesn't approach me right, because here anything can happen. If a person doesn't approach me right, I'll push them. I pushed him. And it seemed like he was about to fall down, but he didn't. Got angry. And then he charged towards me. And then I punched him. Now, I didn't know that he did show me that thing, that badge, that they have. And they said, "Where's your passport?" But he didn't approach me. Like I didn't get time to process everything. I felt like this nigga was trying to rob me. So the other guys came at me and they started to beat me and they wanted to arrest me, right? But their boss came and he was like, "Okay, what's going on here? What's going on, brother? What's going on?" And I said, "They are trying to rob me." I did notice that there were cops when they were holding me, but I wanted him to know how it looked to me, how I judged the whole situation. He was like, "Oh, where's your passport?" And I was like, "Why should I have a passport? I stay here." They're like, "What?" "I stay here." And then I showed him my ID and they allowed me to leave. And the guy that I punched was mad. He's like, "You think you're clever, but you're not." It's like, you think I'm clever, motherfucker? Why do you feel the need to say that I think I'm clever? I wasn't thinking that I'm clever. I was trying to protect myself. So I'm taking that as a compliment because that's what you thought, I guess. You thought that I was clever. But you didn't want to tell me that because you hate me. So you'd rather say that I feel like I'm clever. But that made me realize that you can You can get unalived at any moment. You know? Let's say they were trying to rob me, and I reacted the way that I reacted. They got people who rob people around here, they got guns, they got knives. You see? After everything that I've been through, someone just unalives me like that, and that's it. Can you imagine? There are a lot of people who watch my videos who appreciate what I do. One person can take me away from you like that. Does that seem right? Does that seem to make sense? Isn't it weird that life was set up that way? Maybe people will be like, God doesn't want us to unalive one another, you know? Like it's bad. But why does it allow, why does it make it easy for a person to unalive another person? And nature doesn't punish them for that in most cases. It's not nature that punishes them, you know? You can get away with a lot of things. There are people who have gotten away with a lot of things, you know. Whenever I hear about a case where a wife set up her husband because there was money that she was gonna get, so she set her husband up, and that person then they unalive her husband so that she will get money. I ask myself, how many times does it happen and these women don't even get caught? Because if they do get caught at all, it means that it happens a lot, right? It's like if you steal, chances are you're not gonna get caught, you know, the first time you try stealing. Usually when you get caught doing something, it's something that you've done so many times. Well, that means that it happens a lot that, you know, women get their husband unalived so that they'll get, and even men, they do that too. It's not like, you know, it's just crazy. I think men maybe are better at getting away with it than women. That's why it's usually women that get caught. So they do get it. It means there's a lot of people who got away with that, and they enjoy their lives. The reason why we feel like people don't get away with anything is because life itself sucks. Even if maybe you win this time, like something good happens, or you do something bad, you throw someone under the bus and things go well, when you cannot guarantee that things are going to be well for you forever, right? If things start looking bad for you, you're going to look back at that situation and be like, okay, maybe I'm being punished, and you call it karma, right? There are people who have done a lot of messed up things in the past, and they're suffering now, and they think it's karma. But you find that it's not karma at all. It's just that people do suffer in this room. You cheat. Maybe you were married and you cheated. And then you found someone that you love, and then they cheat on you, and then you say it's karma. Nah. In this realm, bad shit happens. Bad shit happens to good people. You might find out that person that you cheated on didn't do anything wrong. So it's not karma. In this realm, people do get away with a lot of things that we don't think people should get away with. You're in a hell room, remember? So we suffer a lot for a life that we didn't choose, for a life that can be taken away at any time. For a life that's meaningless, no meaning. I've never had a philosopher say that life has meaning. everyone agrees that there's no meaning. You know, a lot of people who think deeply about life, they're not happy. Like a lot of philosophers, they're not happy. People who did poetry, who wrote poems, like they're not. You know what I mean? Like it's not easy to be happy when you are being honest with yourself. Because being a philosopher means that you must think in a way that gets you closer to truth. You mustn't be delusional. Otherwise, you're not gonna be a successful philosopher. Because those who follow philosophers, they want they want to follow those who make sense. So if you don't make sense, then they're not gonna follow you. Those who are into philosophy want truth. So if you are able to tell them the truth that they might not have been able to see, you reveal it to them, and damn, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, they will follow you. They will take you seriously as a philosopher. But what I've realized is that a lot of philosophers are not happy. Some of them will say, "Oh, the point of life is not being happy," you know. Like, why shouldn't that be the point of life? Are you telling me that I'm here to be punished? Because you can say that about people who are in prison. You can say, yeah, well, you're not happy, but that wasn't the point. You weren't even supposed to be happy, actually. You're supposed to suffer. So, yeah, what's happening is what should be happening. But we are in a world that we didn't ask to be brought into. So you're going to tell me that we shouldn't want to be happy, or we shouldn't think that the point of life is happiness. I mean, yeah, that's not even the point, because there's no point. But if we wanted to make life make sense, then it would actually need to be a life that everyone is happy with, right? Like they're actually happy. So even though life has no meaning, it'll be good if people were happy. But yeah, there's no meaning. But who cares if there's no meaning if we're happy? Like, who cares? It's like if you were having a dream and you were really happy in the dream. Who cares if it's a dream, right? You're happy, you're not suffering in the dream. I do believe that in the future, they will create dream machines where people will choose the kind of lives that they want. But like, yeah, I wanna have a dream where I'm a successful musician and I win a lot of awards and I become the biggest artist in the world, you know? Yes, it will come with drama and all that, but yeah, that's the kind of life that I want. Who cares if it's not real? You're happy. I mean, it'll feel real. It'll feel real. I mean, you don't even know if this is real, but it feels real. A dream is only as real as it lasts. So when you're having a dream, it's real. If you have an experience that feels real, it is real because it feels real at the time that you're having it. It's after the time is passed, or after the experience stopped, that you're like, oh yeah, it's not real. It's like if you're having a psychedelic experience, it seems real, it feels real. But people want to be happy. They want to escape suffering, bro. They're not trying to, be slaves, And even when they become slaves, because they want to be happy, yeah. And some people believing in God and they must do what God wants them to do, depending on which God they believe in. And they tell themselves that the meaning of life is to, follow God and do what He says you must do, to worship God. They want to be happy. That's it. It's not like they would want the meaning of their life to just be them worshiping some deity that they don't even know. They want to be happy. They hope that the deity that they worship is going to reward them. They will find themselves in a better place, after experiencing a lot of BS here, they're going to find themselves in a better place, and that's what they want. They want to find themselves in a better place. You know, people do the craziest things trying to escape suffering. I've been telling y'all that whatever people do, they are trying to escape suffering. They're not trying to suffer, they're trying to escape suffering. So if you hear that someone did something that was truly, truly, truly horrible, they were trying to escape suffering. They weren't trying to suffer, they were trying to escape suffering. They felt like after doing that, they would feel better. But you don't know how you're gonna feel after doing something horrible. You don't know how you're gonna feel. You might think that you'll feel better, but it might happen that you feel worse because you do not feel better. You know, like you don't feel better, so now you feel worse because you are not feeling better. You're like, damn, I thought after doing this I'll be happy, but I'm not. So now you feel worse. You feel guilty about what you did. You're like, I did all of that for nothing. It sucks that all of this is meaningless. But the good thing about that is that it means we are free to decide what this is. You know, as a conscious being who's experiencing this life, I can decide what it is. You know, I can decide whether I believe this realm is good or bad, whether it's a hell realm or not. You know, what I'm supposed to actually be doing. You know, how I'm supposed to live my life. That's what's positive about there not being meaning, like there not being they're not being like meaning to life. Like that's what's positive. That's what's positive about that. But it sucks when we are forced to live by other people's rules, because usually the people who thrive in this realm are people who tell themselves that there is meaning to life, and after they make it, they want to control everyone else. They want everyone else to look at life the way that they look at life. You see, like if you're born in a Muslim country, those who are on top will say, oh, drinking is bad. Like, okay, why did nature allows drinking to be possible, and if that's bad, getting drunk to be possible? You might say, well, nature has allowed a lot of things to be possible, but if a person drinks, that doesn't really hurt anyone. Yes, it doesn't benefit those who feel like they're pure and they want everyone to be pure like them. They want everyone to be like them, but not everyone is like them. If we want to live together as people in this realm, we must understand that we are sharing the world with other people, you know, who have their own values. So I mustn't be like, oh, just because I don't agree with that person's lifestyle, you know, I mustn't allow the person to live their lifestyle because I have power and, you know, I can stop people who live that kind of lifestyle. So why not? Like, nah. That only perpetuates suffering. It's a trap, really. Strange that everyone wants to be happy, but it doesn't seem like a lot of people are happy. And even the people that we think are happy, sometimes they do get exposed and realize that they were not happy. They were just pretending as if they were happy. You know, that couple that everyone is following. You hear that something happened, something horrible happened. Maybe the guy beat the woman and she's messed up, she's in the hospital. You're like, they were happy. You know, they were giving us relationship advice, you know. Like, yeah. Happiness is rare in this realm. Hopefully it's gonna make sense in the end. Thank you guys.